Welcome back, everybody, to Late Call, Cajun and the Cheesehead. Today, we're going to have a special episode. We're going to be talking about MVP awards because that's on everybody's mind. Everybody's been talking about this for weeks now and everything. But we're also going to go through all the other awards that are going to be going on. And we can probably start it off. And the way we're going to do this is we're going to mention who we think is going to win it, that the NFL is actually going to awards uh, whoever it to, and then we're also gonna put in our input of who we think deserves to win it, because they might be the same player, they might not, and everything. So
Right.
we can start off. You want to do offensive player of the year right away?
Um. Yeah, I guess so. I guess so.
Who would you say is going to win it by the NFL this year?
I actually think this is. We start off with the hardest pick
Mm-hmm.
because, I mean, people are probably gonna think that mostly you'll agree with us on who we think is gonna be MVP, which we'll let it culminate in that for dramatic effect.
Yeah.
But after that player, it's kind of wide open in my opinion. Like on offense, I mean, Brady had a good year. Um, AP was a rushing leader again. I don't know if that was enough. Um, Breeze led the league again
Mm-hmm.
in yards. Um, I'm not sure who has the most touchdowns off the top of my head. Actually, I think it is Brady.
Yeah, I think
Um,
you're right.
so I don't know though. Like it's not. I mean, probably Brady. Just that's who probably gets it. Is my guess. If he's not getting the MVP, I just they don't usually give that to a running back. I don't know if any running back had such a. I mean, Doug Martin had a good year.
Yeah, he really did.
Um,
Yeah. Well, and he
and,
kind of
and as
started
far as
off kind of
wide receiver,
like rocky, but he finished out great.
yeah, he did. Wide receivers, I don't know if any wide receivers stand out. I mean, Antonio Brown had a good year, but he didn't do too much when Roethlisberger was hurt.
Yeah, I mean he still
Julio
did
Jones,
good, but his numbers just weren't the same.
right? Just I don't know about this one. I guess Brady seems like the most likely candidate.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of biased here, but I mean, I would think Breeze. He had like the most yards and he missed a game.
So you're
That's
gonna
that's
are
impressive.
you saying then Brady is who you think is going to win it, and then
Brady's who I
Breeze?
think is gonna win it, and if I was picking, and obviously I'm biased as hell, but I think I have a legitimate argument for Breeze. He was the yardage leader yet again, and he missed the game.
So you think that's who should
That's
win
who
offensive
that's
player of
who
the
I
year?
would vote for if I was voting.
I think I agree with you that I think Brady is going to win Offensive Player of the Year. Who I think should get Offensive Player of the Year is Antonio Brown. So I'm kind of glad that you brought him up.
Okay.
Only because he had, I mean, what we just kind of said, like, as much as you can argue, it's like, oh, well, his stats could have been better if Roethlisberger was in the game. My counter argument is look how well he did despite Roethlisberger. He had to go through three different starting quarterbacks, and he still has amazing stats.
He did.
Like that's
DeAndre
pretty damn
Hopkins went
impressive.
through four quarterbacks, though, and he had impressive stats.
Yeah, yeah, he did. But
So I mean, there's an argument for I think maybe three wide receivers there.
the reason why
Even
I
even
think
Odell
he's
Beckham to an extent. I think after his little episode with the Panthers.
yeah, yeah.
Fine,
The
so
reason why I think Antonio Brown outshines the rest of them is because he had that one game where he had like what 280 receiving yards in a single game, or
yeah, you can have a
it was like
ridiculous.
a ridiculous amount of receiving yards in a single game, and that's why he outshines above everybody else to me. And I think that's why he's still because there's not a player in the entire NFL that had crazy stats like that. I mean, that's not quarterbacks obviously are a little bit different, and I think that's the reason why I want Antonio Brown to get it is because I don't think these awards should be dominated by quarterbacks every year.
Right, maybe they shouldn't be, but they tend to
They
be.
do, yeah, they tend to be. And like I understand that quarterback is like such an important position, but unless you have a quarterback that is like making groundbreaking stats that particular year, I don't think they need to dominate every single category like that.
Okay.
Okay. So then we can move on to defensive
So,
player.
but you do agree that Brady's
Yeah,
probably
I
gonna
think Brady's gonna get it. I
right. He I've actually pulled it up while you were talking, and he is a touchdown leader.
Okay.
He has down here for touchdowns though. He's the touchdown leader with only 36.
Really?
Carson
No one
Palmer,
broke 40 touchdowns this year?
I
That's
know, right?
weird.
Palmer, Eli, Cam, and Blake Bortles all had 35.
Wow. All
It
right.
is a little bit of a down year for touchdowns.
Yeah. Running backs had a big year instead. Quarterbacks didn't dominate like they usually do.
Yeah, this was a bit of a. There was man, was it 7 or 8 that got had 1,000 yard season or something,
Uh huh.
something like that. It was, I mean, it was a good bit. They had a lot of good performances from running backs this year.
Anyway, that's a whole nother topic though. We should probably
Sure.
move on to
Yeah,
defensive
for
player of the
moving
year.
for moving past
Yeah.
if you've given up on this discussion.
Right. So who do you think is going to win defensive player of the year?
Honestly, what there's some other players that had good years, but he still had a damn good year.
Yeah, he did.
And I mean, you could maybe make an argument for like Khalil Mack. Um, I don't know. I can think of a few others, but there's just none that stand out to me that had such a good year that I think they'll. I mean, the Texans are in the postseason. I feel like largely because of the defense and because of J.J. Watt. Like
Yeah.
he got hurt in that game. That was the end of the game. They could have just stopped the game, called it right there. It was over. They were already losing, but like the Texans just deflated completely. Like they quit. They gave up.
Yeah.
That was it. So I'm gonna stick with Watt on this one, and he probably will win it. I think he deserves it, and I think he'll get it.
Who do you think? Oh, so you're going J.J. Watt with both then?
Yeah.
I think J.J. Watt is gonna get it. Uh, I agree with you. I think he deserves it, but I wouldn't mind seeing Khalil Mack winning it.
I wouldn't either. I mean, it wouldn't be like. I don't think J.J. Watt was so up and away like the best that people would be like he was robbed. You
Yeah,
know.
exactly. Like, that's what I mean. Like if Khalil Mack would win it over J.J. Watt, I would not feel that way at all about it. I'd be like, okay, well he deserves it, you know. But if J.J. Watt gets it, I would also don't think that Khalil Mack really got robbed out of it either. They're pretty damn close with each other this year and everything. And I mean, I J.J. Watt's like one of my favorite players that doesn't, you know, to watch and everything. I mean, I just got his Wisconsin Badger jersey for Christmas this year, so it's it's kind of cool to me because it's like my first jersey that's not a Packer jersey, and it's Watt's jersey and everything. But I definitely love watching the guy. If he wins it, you know, I'd be really happy. But Khalil Mack would be my second choice, I guess. So we
That was
wanted,
probably the most unanimous discussion I think we'll have.
yeah, probably. Uh, Well, maybe not. Well, I guess we'll find
Uh,
out. We
yeah.
didn't like pre-talk about any of these choices, you know, before
Right,
recording.
we didn't. We wanted this to be
Yeah,
any disagreements we wanted to be in real time.
yeah, pretty much.
I'm waiting for you to just say something to me, Jack. What the fuck are you even talking about?
um, Rookie of the year. Who do you think is going to win it, and who do you think deserves to win it?
Whew. All right. It just depends on which way they go with this because I'm gonna say my top three candidates,
Hmm.
and I think they are Todd Gurley, Amari Cooper, and Winston. And these awards go to quarterbacks a lot, so I feel like Winston might be the favorite. But I don't know. There's a lot of hype going around Gurley, and I could see him winning it. So I don't know. Um, Probably one of them two. I don't think Amari Cooper's going to get it, and I'm not sure if there's any other rookies that are in the running quite that high. There's a guy, uh,
Stefan Diggs,
Stephon
but I
Diggs
don't
had.
think he's in the same bracket as those three,
There's
though.
a guy on defense. There's a couple of defensive players, but they don't usually give this to defensive players.
No, and they
I think
obviously didn't shine big
is it
enough.
Darby in the Bills backfield, and
Yeah.
Leonard Williams on the Jets is the one that really comes to mind. That I could maybe a dark horse that he could steal it, but that's probably about it. Honestly,
So are
I don't
you
really.
saying Todd Gurley you think is going to win it and he deserves to win it?
Oh, I haven't gone that far yet.
Okay.
As far as who I think deserves to win it, I'm sort of like you. Winston had a really good year, and I think Gurley ended up with like the third most yards, and he was a rookie. So yeah, I might commit to Gurley because he even missed games. Like was it 4 games or
He
something
wasn't
like
the third most. It was Adrian Peterson, and then it was Doug Martin, and then I think it was Devontae Freeman.
that on yardage?
Yeah, and total yardage. I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
I think Freeman took a hit from one of those games. He didn't have a great game at towards the end. He wasn't third for much of the season, but I don't know. I could pull that up as a file while we're going, but I'm gonna stick to my guns on this. Either way, I'm thinking Gurley would be my pick for the year, especially considering he missed like 4 games.
I would. I think.
He had some beast mode games, like
Yeah, yeah, he
back
did.
to back over 100 and something
You know
yards.
what's
Like
hard for me is I think Gurley's gonna get it, but
yeah,
I'm tied right now as who I think should get it, and I think it should either be Amari Cooper or even David Johnson.
Dave Johnson is a pretty good choice.
Yeah, because I mean, here's the thing about Dave Johnson. He was sitting behind Ellington and Chris Johnson like all year, and then when they needed him most, because literally they had no like those two are out, and he just came out there, stepped to the plate, and just dominated with it. So he didn't play as many games, and his stats aren't going to be comparable. But if you're looking at a game by game comparison, Dave Johnson had a damn impressive games for this kid that came out of nowhere.
He did. I don't think it's going to be enough.
No, it's not, and that's the only reason why with Todd Gurley is that like he's had games where he's gone like his whole like new beast mode for like a rookie, but he also had like a downslope for a while. But then you could argue that for Amari Cooper, but Amari Cooper also played the entire season and never got hurt. So I don't
Yeah.
know.
Hey, you know
It's a
another
toss
rookie
up.
that we're not talking about who I don't think is really in the running, but might end up being a better running back than all of them. Thomas Rawls. The few games he had to start
Oh
it, he had really
yeah,
impressive performances. He really did.
yeah, it's true.
He probably didn't start. It's not probably. He definitely didn't start enough games to be in the running for this award.
Right.
He's another guy that's one to watch out for.
Yeah,
But yeah,
Seahawks are pretty damn lucky that whenever Marshawn Lynch decides that he wants to stop playing, that at least Rawls can pick it up and be just as good. Because I mean, hell, I mean, 2 years ago when they won the Super Bowl, that Marshawn Lynch wanted to retire then, and that was like, you know what I mean? Like he almost wanted to pull a Barry Sanders on everybody, and then decide to stay anyway. But
Barry
like,
Sanders didn't win a Super Bowl.
true. But I'm just,
I know what you're
you
talking about.
get the
Early retirement.
reference at least.
Early retirement.
Yeah. Uh,
I don't blame Barry Sanders. He just was like, fuck this bullshit. I'm on this sorry ass team. Let's not turn this into shit on the line.
right.
I
Um,
mean, we can. It's fun. I don't get to do it enough. We don't talk about them enough.
it's not enough to talk about anymore.
We get the Browns a lot.
Yeah.
But, you know,
Anyway, I'm gonna stick with my guns. I think Todd Gurley's gonna win it. I think Amari Cooper should win it though.
that's a fair vote. I was just to not give it to a quarterback. I think Bridgewater ended up getting it last year over Odell Beckham.
Did he?
Yeah, I believe he did. So that's sort of why I think Winston might get it anyway. Just because that's the way these awards seem to go. But yeah,
I didn't even
next
think about that. But then again, I didn't realize Bridgewater won it last year.
Gurley's got a lot of hype on him though. I mean, Odell Beckham did too, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever.
We'll see how
Well,
it goes. We might be both wrong on that one.
I doubt it.
So what's the next award? We're gonna have the comeback player of the year, the comeback kid, I guess.
Right. He's not a kid in my opinion. There's several players worth mentioning, but I feel like by far, it's Carson Palmer. He got hurt last year, came back from that injury, and here's his team. Won the division, took the division from Seattle pretty comfortably, honestly. And he's 35 years old, had a great comeback, almost like their previous uh, good quarterback, Kurt Warner.
Yeah.
Similar story there. He didn't come from a grocery store, but yeah, I think Carson Palmer would win this, and that's who I think should win it.
I agree with you. I think he should win it. I think he's going to win it, and I think deserves it. The if it's not Carson Palmer, my runner up that I think deserves to win it is Steve Smith Sr.
Yeah,
Because this is because like we talk about how good Larry Fitzgerald was this year and everything, and he was like, and I'm really
yeah,
happy
well,
to
it's
see that.
funny.
But
Yeah,
his
candidates
success
on this
came
list.
from Carson Palmer, and like even you had to contribute it. Steve Smith, on the other hand, this guy like when was the last time you've heard Steve Smith have a good season? You know, like
He
it's
had
been
an all right season last season because I had him in fantasy. He at least put up decent fantasy numbers. He's my number three or maybe a flex. I can't remember.
right, but I'm
But
just
yeah,
saying
this year
it's been
was
like
he had a great year before he got hurt this year.
right, like
But
he just seems like he was getting overshadowed by all these other receivers like for a long time, and all of a sudden this year like spotlight came
I
on him
think
again.
since it ended in an injury though, and I don't think he would get that award.
Yeah, I agree.
Like maybe if he had finished the season out.
Even at that, like I think Baltimore would have had gotten a few more wins at least to at least
Right.
like contribute or like to argue
But
it
even being
better.
the running, Palmer still would probably get it.
Yeah,
And Chris Johnson had a good season too until he got hurt.
yeah, he did.
We joked about it before. This was like Arizona's offense was like the old guys, the boys are back in town kind of shit. Like wild hogs type
Yeah,
stuff. But yeah. Okay, so this was actually the most unanimous one then.
it really was. Yeah.
Almost. So
Okay,
good
so
job, Palmer.
MVP. It's
Are
MVP
we
time.
all?
Yeah, we did all the other awards already.
Yeah. Well, no secret that I think Cam's gonna win it. I mean,
It's.
that's who I think is gonna win it. It's flat
I
out.
think it's
He
gonna
had a
be
good
a
season.
damn upset if he
You do?
doesn't win it
Yeah.
among like a lot of the peers' eyes and everything. But all right, well, go ahead. I'm sorry, I kind of cut you
No,
off.
no. I mean, that was. Does he deserve it? The arguments for him are he didn't have a great start statistically, but he did have a pretty damn good finish. He had a lot of touchdowns. I mean, if you take in his rushing touchdowns with his passing touchdowns,
Yeah.
he actually was the league leader. So, yeah, I mean, his team's winning, has the best record. It's just all signs point to Cam Newton, just honestly.
Is there anybody who you feel that deserves to win it over him?
I mean, who's the argument? Tom Brady? I just feel like no one has a good enough argument to
I have a pretty
you
good
can
argument.
make pros and cons. We'll make one because I don't feel strongly enough about one to say that they should get it over them.
Okay, well, I agree that Cam Newton is gonna win it and everything. That seems just such a
Play devil's advocate.
yeah,
So I don't
yeah. I'll play devil's advocate. Did you watch the video on ESPN with Stephen A. Smith where he was defending Aaron Rodgers and he compares Aaron Rodgers to Cam Newton this year? If you take away rushing touchdowns and just purely go off of like throwing stats, Aaron Rodgers actually has almost identical stats to Cam Newton. I think he's about 200 yards less, a couple touchdowns behind, same exact accuracy, like same exact or it's pretty damn close quarterback rating between the two as well. But he was saying Aaron Rodgers is having a down year this year,
Right.
but this guy is winning the MVP. Like, how the hell does that make sense? Like, Aaron Rodgers last year's MVP is having a down year, but has almost identical stats to this year's MVP. How does that make any sense? And it doesn't.
because
And it's because of
well,
his overall record. It really is. And like his rushing touchdowns are impressive. Yes, that is
that's the
impressive.
difference.
Yeah, and that's
Different
if you
kind.
want to get a player that outshines or like has something unique about them that's above everybody else, that is it. But my other thing is that I don't like, if you're talking about most valuable player, not player on the best team, or if you're talking about just like probably like one of your best players on the best team and of the season, if you're talking about specifically most valuable player that this team was successful because of this guy specifically, I would give it to Drew Brees this year. Are you going to tell me that the Saints got 7 wins if Drew Brees wasn't on that team this year? Hell no.
If you want to look at it from that way, which they don't do that,
No,
you know,
they don't, but they should. They
if you want to
definitely
just look at
should.
it as who was the most valuable player on their team, it made the difference. Um, yeah, Breeze. If you really want to just like get meta here, then I would be like John Harbaugh for having 5 fucking wins with the Ravens as the coach. Because damn, he had nothing.
Like, I'm not even saying this to try to like stroke your ego or anything, because obviously
No,
it's
no,
Cajun and the
I was
Cheesehead, but like
actually getting ready to say that
because like
when you started going
realistically,
in the direction you went.
realistically, Cam Newton, he doesn't have fantastic receivers. Like that is true. But I mean, he has Greg Olson, so I guess like that's still like something. But he has a good offensive line. Their defense definitely picked it up. They have one of the better defenses in the NFC. Drew Brees doesn't have that shit. He doesn't have a great O line. He has comparably as good receivers as Carolina, and he has the worst defense in the entire NFL, and still almost went 8-8.
Everything you're saying is like sort of making me happy and sort of hurting my feelings at the same time. Because it's like you're throwing shade and compliments all together, and I'm just like, I don't know, I might need to just go sit in the corner a little bit after we recorded this. Maybe wipe some tears away. Because you're right, when we lose Drew, we're fucked. I need a minute.
We're talking specifically though. I mean, someone
Yeah.
tried to argue against me. I've heard other people try to argue against me. Like, well, who's to say that Carolina wasn't going to go 15-1 if Cam Newton was on their team? True. You know what? Good point. Like, they probably wouldn't be 15-1 without Cam Newton, but they're still going to make the playoffs. If Cam
Still
Newton,
probably win. They probably win the division.
yeah, they would at least win the
They were
division.
so far out in front. I mean, come on.
If Cam Newton got hurt like Ben Roethlisberger did in the middle of the season, if he can get, even if he goes like the sheriff Peyton Manning, if like he goes out like the last 6 weeks of the season and the backup goes in, they're still winning the division. They're still making the playoffs. So like, is he then necessarily that important? It wasn't as dire as, let's say, Tony Romo, where they're just fucked the rest of the year.
Hey, he could be the MVP in that case.
Yeah.
Talk about important to the team.
Yeah.
He might be even more important to the Cowboys than Breeze is to the Saints. Shit. I mean, at least that one game when Breeze was out, it was a competitive game.
Yeah.
Um, someone that I guess we can kind of close this out on this. At least I will close my point out on this. The argument you made is actually an argument that last year's loser of the MVP award, J.J. Watt, made. And he said that he was okay with losing that award because he just flat out admitted that his position isn't as important as the quarterback position is to the team.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was voted best player by the players, like overall player, but this is most valuable like player. And he was saying, he's like, if we're talking about who is the most valuable player on that team, he said, honestly, you could rank almost every single quarterback above my position.
Yeah.
That's actually what he was saying. So he was just like, I don't know if that's how he dealt with not getting it when a lot of people thought he should have or whatever. But that's actually like straight from him. That was basically the gist of his argument. Was that he was perfectly okay with losing the award to Aaron Rodgers because he got that Aaron Rodgers was playing a more vital role in his team than he was since he was the quarterback. So he was basically saying that the best player in the NFL and the most valuable player aren't necessarily the same thing.
Yeah.
That's what Watt's argument was, which I thought was a good point.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's no secret that MVP goes to quarterbacks every year, except that one year with Adrian Peterson where he almost broke the all-time record and everything. But other than that, it goes to a quarterback every year, and I can see where JJ Watt's saying that because in that aspect, like it doesn't matter how well you are. If you're not a quarterback, it doesn't fucking matter how well you do in a season because you're not going to get MVP unless you're a quarterback, pretty much.
Yeah. So yeah, we're agreeing that Cam Newton is probably getting it,
Yeah.
and played some devil's advocate arguments for why he shouldn't, but you know,
I go with Drew Brees, and honestly, the same exact argument of what you said for comeback player of the year.
yeah.
If it's not Drew Brees, I wouldn't mind seeing Carson Palmer win MVP this year, to be honest. Just because the whole
He's a good
comeback
candidate.
aspect
I'll
that you
be
said.
honest. I just don't want Tom Brady to do it. I mean, the only stat he let in, I think, was like touchdowns. It was not one touchdown. That's not enough.
I guess I should also point out too, as much as I'm playing devil's advocate about Cam not maybe deserving to get MVP, I actually like Cam Newton. I really do. I've liked him for a few years now. I like that he's having fun, on the field. I like that he gives, the football out to a kid every touchdown. And I like Cam Newton. I like his attitude in the game. I like his, well, whether you want to say it's good attitude or bad attitude, that's, I guess, debatable. But I like his attitude regardless. I like what he
He's giving
does.
footballs to kids. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
People need to play all
But,
no fun league.
right. I mean, I do like Cam Newton. I'm just saying, is he truly the most valuable player in the entire NFL? Did he really solely by himself get Carolina to 15-1? I don't know. I'm not. I don't buy it. I guess 100%.
All right.
So I think with that,
Can I do something?
yeah.
I don't know if I've done this at all.
Okay. I'm
But
sorry.
I'm just gonna get it out of my system.
Okay.
I'm gonna do this one time. Cam Newton MVP. I'm never doing that again.
Okay.
So.
Well, I'm glad we got to see it at least once. Unless anybody wants to repeat it over and over, or someone makes a GIF of you doing it. Anyways, I think with all that, we've definitely expressed our opinions on the awards coming up this year and everything. If you disagree with us, or even if you want to agree with us or just play devil's advocate and everything, please leave us a comment and let us know what you think of certain players. I'm assuming there's gonna be a lot of talk about MVPs and everything, but even if you want to talk about the other awards, if maybe someone that you feel deserves it better or whatever, we're not saying we're necessarily right or wrong. We're just expressing what we think.
I'm fucking right.
And then on top of that, make sure to watch our other late calls. Make sure to
I have one last thing.
Oh, all right, go ahead.
St. Louis, y'all got fucked. I'm sorry. I feel bad for them.
Sorry.
I just wanted to throw
Man,
that.
I was trying to bring this. I was trying to end on an upbeat,
No. We don't have to
on
make
an
this
upbeat
into
note.
yeah.
But if you're gonna
I'm
put
gonna
a
bring
downer
it
to
down.
St. Louis, damn.
Okay, well then congratulations, Los Angeles. Yay!
Congrats, LA. I guess
Yeah.
that's a whole nother video, man. Don't bring it up now. I'm trying to close it out, and not right now, man.
It's like the next time, but
Oh yeah, catch us next time on Cajun and the Cheesehead. And
Same.
we have to put a montage of us riding like a Knight Rider and explosions going on behind us and shit.
I was thinking like the end of